Like I'm at a parent-teacher conference with poetry. I tried to study much like that. So I'm gonna grasp my cans and things.
You are a natural.
Intimidating.
You're a natural. Props. Is that what we? Before we begin, I'd like to offer this sentiment. We are unerasable. Unerasable, showing up in our skin, saturated with melanin and bright grins. This, an act of prolific resistance. Our presence in the room is shaped by insistence. We are here and won't be erased. Fashion and style defined on our face, quiet defiance that challenges expectations, color palettes that infuse vibrance in our stride. We are the culture, hair with coils tight where creativity collides, telling a story that puts bias to the test. Style is the statement where freedom is set, letting no one define our humanity, taking scraps and making progress from calamity. Our hustle sharp as pant leg creases, color ensembles like Reese's Pieces, sneakers dripping with urbanity, wingtips, tuxes with smooth audacity. Pressing curls or bantu knots, high top fades and or locks shape our crowns with a head full of thoughts. We rock style bold like leopard spots, family reunions and matching shirts, affirmations inscribed on fabric as clever inserts. We are the butterfly's wing, the peacock's feather, flare in the pursuit that fuels our endeavors, the royalty of blue, the nostalgia of lilac, innovating forward or paying homage in fashion flashbacks. Colors shout when they try to mute our voice, making it known that we exercise choice. Pleated skirts or bell-bottom jeans, style integrated into daily routines, eyeshadowed lids and goatee trims, light emanating from our passion within, as we unapologetically show up in our skin, saturated with melanin and bright grins. We are here with expression and truth that won't be erased. Confidence and power defined on our face. Today we celebrate more than a moment in history. We celebrate the legacy of Black culture, ingenuity, and joy that leaves its stamp everywhere we go, even in places we don't expect, like Spokane, Washington. Let me take you back to the 1920s, when a Black man from Tennessee named Ernest E.J. Brown came to Spokane, not as a businessman yet, but as a chauffeur. But like so many of us, he didn't just arrive, he dreamed. And with the support of his wife Theo and a small stake from the man he once worked for, he turned those dreams into something remarkable. First, it was the Sawdust Trail, a cozy cafe in Spokane Valley, serving Southern fried chicken, barbecue ribs, and Theo's lemon meringue pies. Spokane had never tasted anything like it. Then, in 1929, They opened the Pirate's Den, a 350-seat nightclub with a flashing dine and dance sign that lit up Sprague Avenue like a promise. By 1936, it became known as Club Harlem, echoing the spirit of the Cotton Club in New York. And y'all, it was magic. Louis Armstrong, Cab Calloway, Pearl Bailey, Nat King Cole, Sammy Davis Jr. They all came through, bringing the Harlem Renaissance to the Northwest. It wasn't just a club, it was a stage for brilliance. It was a kitchen of culture. It was a sanctuary in a segregated city, and it was a family, with the brown children dancing on stage, staff in pirate outfits, and the community gathering in style. Though the club served mostly white patrons during the week, on Sunday or Monday nights, the doors opened for Spokane's Black community. Those dance specials were filled with music, laughter, and freedom. Even when Club Harlem burned down in 1951, its legacy couldn't be erased. It put 6 of Brown's 7 children through college. It showed us that wherever we are, we make a way. Because that's what Black people do. We don't wait to be invited, we build. We create joy in the cracks. We bloom in the margins. We make rhythm out of resistance. And that spirit of Club Harlem, of the Browns, and of our ancestors is alive right here in this room today. And speaking of rhythm and resistance, it is my honor to introduce several powerful voices today. Our first truth teller, artist, joy seeker is A.J the Wordsmith. A.J is a local artist, activist, and success mentor who uses poetry as a tool to heal and awaken. A graduate of Eastern Washington University, A.J is a model, an actor, and jewelry artisan, and he's on a mission to spread the message of nonviolent communication to people everywhere. His work reminds us that our words can either bind or transform, and A.J chooses transformation. As he says, we are walking biospheres of earth and human emotion combined into one vessel. Please welcome A.J the Wordsmith.
It's just like a whole microphone thing over here. That's it. I 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I didn't really take any stage etiquette or anything like that. Sorry, not sorry. I'm gonna sit down because it's nice to the audience, I was told. That's why I'm trying to look you guys at eye level. Figure the first one's gonna be a written one. Got Brother Gil here is gonna give me a little bit of a beat, and then afterwards I'm gonna do an improv. I'll get into that in a sec. It's just kind of like a warm-up thing. If you guys ever read the Black Lens News, my poetry's out there. If you want to look me up, you can look me up on IG as A.J the Wordsmith. That's A.J THEWORDSMITH, spelled like it sounds. I know, I talk a lot, but this is the poem. This is the warm-up. And remember, y'all, you do better than me. I'm the warm-up. DEI. No mistaking in these words, as if something is observed. From a culture vulture society, I feel it's my nerve to be a macro-aggressor to micro-apologies, but don't blame the economy. We've been looking for justice when it's just us. Better off dead when they're the ones coming for our head. Wonder why? They always look at us with red in the face, wondering why they chase. If this is something more than the human race, I feel like it's disgrace. Can we categorize? Mutual feelings, others than basic verbalizations. I feel like these are adjectives and nouns, but this feels like more like we can't even touch on common ground. Are we not nature? Savage creatures of habit that adapt to our environment, that we can't live on this planet? What's the point? Or what's the joint when you're looking for words that won't reach? Should we even teach the limitations? Should we hinge on the people's mutations if they can have more than communication? If we have adversities when they have oppression, what's a selection? If this is nothing more than a game of fame, then what's the question? Whose land is this anyway? Like, really? If we're nothing more than all transplants and immigrants who come from different worlds and different dimensions, and what's the retention? I mean, can you relate? For real, let's not be fake. I mean, resolving internal conflicts without that depressive state. I wonder why there's no more than that empathetic state where people can take off their brain with nothing more than what they had to be vulnerable in a place where they can feel more than just sad. Would it be bad if we could do something else than be mad? Quick to put it in a bag and label it glad? What's the brag? Come on, I'm not saying that we could be a toxic Chad, but look at this entanglement, establishment, criticism that prevents participation, but this is nothing more than what we perceive. If this is not evaporation, can we not diffuse the stain that we need? If it's too quick to get cultural by critiques, if we're not imaginary by issues that do not deserve a tissue, can we not be a vulture of society that's living off of skeptical scraps? I'm surrounded by people who give me more than poetic crap. I'm waving myself with red-colored glasses. I feel like it's more than a question if this is our reality. Where acronyms like AAV, CRT, NBC get replaced with social media norms, what's on TV, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. If you understand where the Facebook regret lays at, intellectual flow is lag. But the last thing we remember is someone who went on TV and say mustard and turn your TV off, so don't get mad. When we look at these streets that fill with more than our own pain and gain, we feel as if this is nothing more than melanin. It's a shame when we have nothing but ironic, iconic moments in time with universe and community that can't exist without you and I. Do they not see? Wonder where we could be if it's not another brown person socially engaged in what we could see. It's an opinion that doesn't fit in society. It's a niche. It ain't just some shit. I'm gravity. Thank you. That's my first poem. Okay, so for the next one, I just require a little bit of the classroom participation. So if y'all had feelings from that or you liked it or whatever, that's cool. But if you want to say some words right now, that'd be even more amazing. Or whatever you felt from this event and such, I'm gonna turn that into a quick poem. Might be a little yelling, but just for the sake of the audience and small children, I'll just stay sitting right here within this range. I might use my arms, so I'm not gonna get over. Someone might hit me in the back of the head, that's why I'm staying further away. That's okay. So any words at the time, let me gauge. If you got words for me, I would love to hear them right now because I call myself A.J the Wordsmith, but not just poetic sound. So give me a word, give me a phrase, you can scream it out, I won't cry, and I'll show you how I create poetry on top of the dome. That's where we live, so don't hide.
Strength.
Okay, we got stripe. Anyone else? Come on, don't be shy. This is Spokane, it's supposed to be spoken word, right?
Joy. Fear.
Joy, fear. Play. Sun, okay. Go on once. I'm gonna remember what I can. ADHD brain, that's all. Strive, lane, sun, right? Okay, I think I got some. Brother Gil, you ready for this? And then anytime you get tired or you feel like you need to, it's okay. I'll make a hand for this. Because I talk a lot. It's a thing. Okay, I think I got some. I'm done stalling. Channel. So, the melanin man who feels more like a mannequin gets mad again because no one else is sad again. What's the conversation without observation like? If we're elements, then why are you always on side? Like playing the game, no fame, no flame. You look at the lane, what's there to say? A shame. Vows aside, you see, I dissect the conversation for you and me, because if we had fame, if we didn't blame, if we took all those L's, turned them into a W, would you well, or would you say it's someone else's shame? Can't complain. Let me extrapolate some more. See, this is a gradualism state that goes in a cycle, where people think it's worthwhile to be textile with what we can see, what we know, what we feel, what we deserve. And how do we get past that nerve? I asked the question. Is it not by session that we can't see that this sunshine will not last forever? So should we be better and be clever? To be better, to see, to be kind is the reminder of people like you and me. Don't you know? If this is sunshine, then how do we glow? Melanin, that's scientific fact. Everyone has, don't say that you don't because that's some political crap. Look it up. So if we are not connected by the same thing, if Spokane does not mean children of the sun, it's such a shame. Who can we blame? You want to talk about them fentanyl fiends, those ones with schemes, those bums who slum? The people who look like pond scum, such a shame. Don't want to look into the mirror today. Not to say that you're not part of the problem, but what do you really have to say? Feel that danger yet? Wonder why there's no regret? No, not until it's someone that you know that's on a shirt. Then you want to hear what someone else has to say. No regret. Or no regret, because some people feel like they're hurt. They think that we need to flirt with destiny and pain, such a shame. When fear is nothing more than false evidence that appears real. So what's the deal? If the only thing that is finite is life itself, if cash and time are nothing more than constructs, then what do we do? With imagination. Create a demonstration. Build something. Let it grow. Then ask questions so when it falls, you don't sound so slow. Come on, bro. Come on, sis. Life is supposed to be bliss, but it's a miss. We talk about spoken word and nothing more than shameful things displaying that no one else can communicate today. I feel like this is unified pain. What do we have to gain? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. If you're not arrested, if you don't look for someone who's on the prowl, if you're not being deported, you're being flirted with, you're an export, an exotic, something that people feel like they should know. Remember once upon a time they put you into a zoo and say, you already know. They don't grow. They don't show. When they say it's they and them and not us. Guess what? It's a trust. But you see, but you hear, but you know, but you taste. The words that we fear, but we don't know, it's a waste. We could do so much more, and yet so much less. I digress. And this political mess is nothing more than stress that I see. I'm a hologram homie who knows not what he be. I am a volunteer to those who are on a journey. A vile villain to those who are vexed, no gurney. And if you think that I talk with my gift of gab, don't be sad. I open up this word because someone else could brag. And I know I could keep on going. But I thank you all for knowing how I'm showing. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to enjoy some poetry from two local youth. I had the pleasure of knowing both of these young ladies. Donalda is a graduate, recently finishing her first year at the University of Washington, Rogers High School graduate. She has shared at the Black Voices Symposium that we have every February, and I will open the stage to Ms. Donalda Brantley.
Thank you. It's hard to follow up after that. I'm gonna stand because I can't sit in these shorts, but anybody who knows me knows that I have the habit of procrastinating. So my poem is called, I Wrote This Poem in 20 Minutes. Thank you.
Nice.
I wrote this poem in 20 minutes, but my people have been writing our stories for centuries. Words on paper, just like buildings on a road. My culture rich in history, but personality switches from code to code. Still, this indigenous blood that I hold, I stand on the land of which they stole. Whether hot from the blazing sun, or cold from the freezing rain, whether it was hot or cold, my people were told, work, fight, and never fold. Still, I stand here to share a few words, words of persistence. The power that I hold is shown through my very existence. From the way that I comb my hair, to the stories that I share, even the clothing that I wear. Because you see, history has many layers. They tried to wash away the stains, but no bleach is good enough to cover our pains. Pains of overcoming hate, pains of overcoming discrimination. Because my people fought and built this country. We are the creators of this nation. So let us continue to put in the work. There's no time left to be patient. Thank you.
Next, we have Daniela Musa Sambili, student of mine at Seattle Park High School. Always got bars, so to speak. Every time I ask for, I don't even have to ask her for poems, she just gives them to me. I would like to invite her up. She is new to our area and also the second runner-up for the first annual Miss Juneteenth pageant. So without further ado, Miss Daniela Mississippi.
Okay, so it's on? All right, so my poem's called I Survived because I feel like I am surviving and I have survived. I didn't grow up soft. I grew up learning how to walk in quiet, tiptoeing around chaos, folding my voice in corners where I should have been noticed, where I should have been heard. But I folded my voice so I wouldn't be next, so I wouldn't be noticed. In my house, love sounded like broken glasses. Affection looked like bruises on mom's skin, and silence from her lips like she swallowed the pain so we wouldn't have to choke on it. I used to watch her, strong but tired, worn out like the floors she knelt on, and my father, he told me what fear looks like when it comes from your own blood. Then life added more weight. Before I could pack up a single bag, I watched death take my friend right in front of me. 1 second we were laughing, and the next we were holding on to a heartbeat that wouldn't come back. I screamed, but the world just kept going, and something in me broke that day, something I have never found since. 3 times. 3. My body was taken by hands that didn't ask. By hands that didn't ask, by eyes that didn't care, by mouths that said shh. They stole more than a skin. They stole peace, trust, pieces of my soul I'm trying to figure out. Then I moved, new country, new chance, new weight. They called it a fresh start, but how do you start afresh when the past still follows you in every hallway, in every classroom, every time someone walks too close? I had to fight for credits while panic was chasing me. I had to smile for counselors while my chest scrambled for air. I learned to say I'm fine, even when my mind was a battlefield and my heart was losing. I tried to speak once. I tried to open up. I tried to let someone in, and my own father disowned me, like I was dad, like I was shame, like I was the one who brought pain to the family. But still, I'm here, shaking but standing, torn but talking. I'm not the girl I used to be. I am the woman she needed, the voice she never had, the fight she was too scared to finish. This is for the girl who watched her friend fade away, for the daughter who held her breath while mom held in tears, for the survivor that was told to stay silent but found strength in her voice. I am not broken, I am proof. Proof that survival is a language only the strong speak. Proof that even when your story starts in pain, you can still write your ending in power. And that's what I'm doing now. Pen in my hand, past behind me, future in sight. I speak because silence never saved me, but my voice just might save another one's. Thank you.
Let's give it up again for our 2 youth poets and the A.J the Wordsmith. Now, it is my deepest honor to welcome a legend to the stage. Dr. Mona Lake Jones, is the Maya Angelou of the Pacific Northwest, a celebrated poet, orator, educator, and model of an African American woman still unfolding. Her words have graced stages from classrooms to concert halls. She serves as Poet Laureate for both the city of Seattle and King County. She's the author of the Color of Culture series and Unleashing the Power of a Sister. Dr. Jones is a freedom sister, a history maker, and a guiding light whose community activism and literary brilliance have earned her national recognition. And she was born in Spokane, Washington. It is a joy to share this moment with her. Please welcome Dr. Mona Lake Jones, and I would ask also that you hold the drumming for Ms. Jones's performance. Thank you.
Hello. I am so glad to be home. How about that? I graduated from Lewis and Clark High School in 1957. Wow. Think about that. And then I went on down the road to WSU and went there for until 1961, where I graduated. For one whole year, I was the only black woman on the entire campus. And then I went on over to Seattle, and this morning when I left Seattle, the raindrops had on their slickers, and they were tap dancing on top of everything. I came into Spokane, and I watched the sun as it lay on the horizon, and it was peeking up trying to decide what to put on. At first, it seemed not to move, but then slowly stood, and her decision was obvious. Against her glowing copper skin, she put on her orange silk dress with her gold sequin jacket, and she stretched her long yellow gloves towards the skies and circled her sparkling smile with a bright red wide-brimmed hat, and I heard her say, "Welcome home, Mona." So I am really, really happy to be here. And you know, the whole thing here today is just another way of us celebrating our culture. And you know, one day I heard somebody say that blacks were culturally deprived. And I wondered how they had arrived at that conclusion. I was confused by what they said, and it just kept rumbling through my head, but it only took a while before I began to smile. You see, I figured they simply didn't know. Black folks got sure enough culture from our head down to our toe. It's the music that we sing. It's the style in which we talk. It's our preaching and our praying and the way some even walk. It's a get-down way we move when the band begins to play. It's the looks we give each other without any words to say. And are ways that we communicate that folks outside our culture may not appreciate. It's the way we put the man on and he doesn't even know, and it's a way we keep on trying when somebody tells us no. Now, when they say we don't appreciate the finer things in life, I know through all my education, toils, and strife, I recognize good music when I hear it on the air. And to say that blues and jazz and gospel and rap aren't culture, that's not fair. Now, I surely recognize the finest there is in food. I don't even have to be in any special mood to appreciate some greens, some black-eyed peas, some cornbread, a little fried chicken, and some Kool-Aid. I turn down the caviar no matter how much they paid. You know, it's our afros, our curls, the way we do our hair. It's the clothes and the fashionable styles that we wear. It's the sisters and the brothers struggling for the cause, fighting economics, politics, and unjust laws. But most of all, it's the way we hang together and this kinship that we feel that makes our culture so natural and so real. You know, when I think about our blackness and what our culture's all about, it's hard to keep on talking because I really want to shout. Blacks don't have any culture, I heard somebody say. And I just put my hand on my hip, roll my eyes, and look the other way. Black culture. Isn't that a nice story about us and all of that beauty that we have and all of the reasons we have to celebrate? You know where I learned who I was? Right here in Spokane, in my mama's kitchen. It wasn't the greens simmering on the stove, or the smell of canned strawberry jam, or the pies cooling on the countertop. It wasn't even the gravy being stirred to pour over the mashed potatoes. It was love that filled our kitchen. The kitchen was so full of love you could taste it when you licked the mixing spoon. You could feel it through the hot pads when you took the cornbread from the oven. You could see it on the faces sitting around the kitchen table. It was the food being blessed and the sound of laughter when somebody told even a halfway funny story. Now folks didn't just cook in the kitchen. They hugged and cried there. Broken hearts and cut fingers were mended right in the kitchen. It was a place to show off over the kitchen sink while you were washing dishes if you thought you could sing. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. I love him in the morning and love him at night. Love him, love him, love him, love him all through the night. And then I heard my grandmother, who we used to call Grand Honey because she was so sweet, she'd holler in there and say, "Girl, it sounds to me like you trying to turn a perfectly good church song into the blues." Well, everybody in our family came through the kitchen to get a helping of love, and company would get enough love to take some home with them. And there was hardly any left over because folks were always coming back for seconds. And sometimes if you needed a refill of love, you could just go sit in the kitchen all by yourself, close your eyes, and help yourself to memories until you got warm and full. There was love all up in the kitchen. Did any of you all have kitchens like that where you got a lot of food for thought right there in the kitchen? Yes. We were validated in the kitchen. We were honored in the kitchen. We were affirmed in the kitchen. And the thing that I loved about being with family is that sometimes that's the only place I got affirmed. Because often, especially back in those days, it was difficult to get affirmation from the broader community. So we depended on my church at Calvary Baptist. I depended on the Masons and Eastern Stars that were a part of my mom and daddy's family. I depended on the Wednesday Art Club that when I'd say a poem and I even messed up, they'd say, "Go on, girl, you got this." I loved my family and my community here because that's where I learned to put a whole lot of stuff in my pocket. Let me tell you what they taught me to put in my pocket. It was when racism and sexism and all those other isms would raise their ugly heads, I would say, should I demonstrate, tolerate, educate, negotiate, assimilate, or just kick ass? And I had all that stuff in my pocket, so depending upon what the situation was, that's what my mama and daddy and my community taught me, so I'd be ready when the ism bullets started coming and I would have to dodge them. You know, when I think about the growing up here in Seattle, it gives me such joy and pride because I know that we are still right now not letting our history vanish. And the museum here, I applaud for doing this wonderful celebration and doing the kinds of things that keep our history alive. You know, an old man said, "Before you go, can I tell you some history I think you should know?" The boy said, "Oh, I'm in a hurry on my way out to play. Maybe tomorrow I can hear what you say." A grandmother said, "Come sit, my dear. I have something I think you should hear." The girl over her shoulder stopped to chime, "Oh, maybe tomorrow I'll have the time." And so it went, and the years passed on, and before they knew it, the old man was gone. And the grandmother soon went away too, and took with her all the wisdom that she knew. And when the boy and girl were older and grown, they wished for those stories the old folks had known. We're not letting that happen. We are not letting our stories vanish. And thank the museum for helping to make that happen. I was sometimes doing things that I shouldn't do, and we had a whole community that would tell on you, even if they, weren't in your family. The message would get there, and sometimes nobody even had to say anything. They just had a look. Did your mama have a look? Well, if looks could get you, I'd be got. Because every time I got ready to do my thing, my mama, my daddy, my grandmother, my Auntie Butler, who is no real relation to our family, they would catch me, look me straight in the eye, and I'd nearly die, and I'd have to stop what I was doing. I can't count the times I was nearly killed right on the church bench while the preacher was preaching. Once, all I was fixing to do was pinch Bobby so he could see Miss Johnson had on one of those funny-looking hats setting all to the front of her head. And my mama's eyes caught me and pierced me so hard I felt my heart stop and I had to catch my breath. Now my grandmother, who we call Grand Honey because she was so sweet, I think she would be sleeping, but she would be looking hard, not saying a word, and I would have to adjust my agenda. Now my daddy, he really only had to look a half look. He didn't look long, he didn't look hard, he didn't even wrinkle his forehead or squint his eyes, he just looked. I used to wish he'd say something outside so the hurt inside me would stop and I could go on with something else. And finally he'd say, "Go on, girl." Now my Auntie Butler, who is not my real aunt, I don't know how she thought she had the rights to looking. She looked more than anybody. She looked from her front porch while I was outside playing. She looked on my way home from school. She looked at church. She even looked when she saw you at the store. Now, Auntie Butler was always causing me to change my plans. Now, I thought when I grew up, I could do my thing without anybody looking. But yesterday, I was having a brief conversation on the phone with my best friend, Rosetta, and I happened to glance up, and my husband had the nerve to be looking. If looks could get you, I'd be got. And that husband that I was talking about, we've been married for 61 years. Yeah. You know, it was a glorious day when it happened. I remember how hard the wind blew, and I was unquestionably sure that I knew. The dahlias and daisies were dancing, the leaves fluttered and twirled, and hats on top of heads went flying, and flags flapped and unfurled. Now, folks had their heads bowed so the wind wouldn't sting their eyes, and that's when I bumped into this brother and discovered the most wondrous surprise. it must have been meant to happen, because there were many others around when Joe asked to hold me steady so the wind wouldn't push me down. I agreed, of course, squeezed him tightly, and struggled against the wind, and I'd look up and thank him passionately every now and then. Well, far after the wind stopped blowing, we still held on to each other, and I whispered a quiet prayer that said simply, "Thank you, God, for this brother." Here was this man I'd been looking for practically all of my life, and had it not been for the wind that day, I wouldn't now be his wife. Oh, oh, oh. Now let me just tell you one more, 2 or 3 little tiny things. I want to tell you about being the parent of a black child, because it ain't no easy thing. You know what? You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. They said you were what? Oh, that word is out of style. Next time they call you names, just raise your head and smile. Tell them that you're proud of the color of your skin, and that what counts is not the outside wrapping, but the character within. Ooh, being the mother, being the parent of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. You know, sometimes I'd lie in bed way late at night, and I'd ask God, am I doing this thing right? Have I given them direction? Do they know which way to go? Have I overdone it just a bit? They have to go beyond the call and be the very best. Lord knows I've been to school 1,000 times or more. Every time the teachers look up, I'd be standing in the door. But someone has to help folks understand how smart black children are, and expect them not to fail, but help them reach up for a star. Oh, being the parent of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. Now, I used to put the children down between my legs to brush a kinky head, and I'd be preaching and teaching, hoping they were listening to what I said, because I told them there would be those who would tug and pull and grin and flaunt their evil ways, tempting them to sin. And because of being black, some would not expect them to win this game of life. And there were going to be days and hours filled with such strife that they would have to learn to get down on their knees and pray and understand, although we may not be listening, God hears everything they say. Oh, being the parent of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. Now, for those of you who've raised them up or are in the process now, you surely deserve to stand and take yourself a bow. But don't think your task is over and that your job is through, because now you got to reach down and help some parent who was struggling just like you. You must let them know that that little black girl or boy can do so many things to fill their hearts with joy, and that the good they bring will far surpass the tears, and soon they'll be looking back and thanking God for all those happy years. Yes, being the parent of a black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing. Last one. I just want to talk about how sweet life is. Because you know, right now, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's coming next, and we don't know. So we have got to be able to hold on to the sweet things about our lives. And there is sweetness. Life is sweet. It's like a dish of warm berry pie with fresh cream melting on the top, tasting so good you have to tell yourself to stop. Life is so sweet that sometimes you have to pause for a cool drink of water, because the sweetness, it's almost more than you can stand. Life is sweet. It makes your body shake with joy, and it stirs your soul when happiness reaches in and takes hold. Life is so sweet that sometimes you need to just lie still and contemplate, because the sweetness, it's almost more than you can stand. Life is sweet. It's like a bed of roses with a soft breeze blowing through. And all the fine fragrances of life seem to be surrounding you. Life is so sweet that sometimes you need to close the door or open it to let the aromas out. Because the sweetness, it's almost more than you can stand. Life is sweet. It's a choir singing praises to the Lord, raising their voices in rhythmic accord. Life is so sweet that sometimes you have to clap your hands, stomp your feet, and say, Amen. Because the sweetness is almost more than you can stand. Life is so sweet. Thank you.
Encore.
Another one.
Okay, do one more. Yeah!
There was this room full of sisters. I want to talk about the sisters for just a minute if I can. Yeah. Like jewels in a crown. They were vanilla, cinnamon, and dark chocolate brown. Now picture yourself in the midst of this glory as I describe the sisters who are part of this story. They were wearing purples, royal blues, all shades of reds, and some had elegant hats on their heads. They had sparkling eyes and shiny lips. And as they moved through the room, swaying their hips, they spoke with smiles on their colorful faces, and their joy and laughter filled all the spaces. They were fashionable and stylish in what they were wearing, and they were kind sisters, loving and caring. But it's not about how these sisters appeared. Their beauty was in the values they revered. They were smart, articulate, well-read, with all kinds of Black history stored in their heads, jugglers of professions and managers of lives and mothers of children and lovers and wives, good-hearted, reaching out to others, giving back to the community and supporting our brothers. Now, all of these sisters had struggled the path. They suffered from prejudice. They endured the wrath. But they brushed off their pants and their dresses, and they pushed on the door. And they came back stronger than they were before. Now, imagine, if you will, the essence and thrill as you'd sit feeling proud in the midst of this crowd. A sisterhood of modern sojourners today, still out in front, blazing the way. A room full of sisters like jewels in a crown. They were vanilla and cinnamon and dark chocolate brown. Okay.
I could stay here all day.
For real.
This is very therapeutic, actually.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
My heart feels good after this experience. We didn't just tell stories, but we honored them. From the flashing signs of Club Harlow to the living verses shared here today, we remember that Black culture doesn't need permission to exist. It has always thrived, radiated, and transformed. Whether in Spokane, Seattle, Harlem, or right here at the Mack Museum, we continue to carry rhythm in our bones, resistance in our spirit, resilience in our souls. Thank you all for being a part of this celebration. May we keep telling these stories, keep sharing these poems, and keep honoring the brilliance that has always and will always be Black culture. Young people, listen to your elders, get the stories. I wish my grandmothers were still here, and I don't regret that I was a pest in my grandmother's kitchen. Let's keep the joy flowing, peace, love, and power to each of you. Thank you.